I'm a marine biologist, but I'm partnering with an environmental anthropologist. And so one of the things that I like about this is that we're really kind of playing to our strengths and developing a team that can really support this, looking at this issue of how aquaculture facilities and oysters in general can benefit people of Long Island, but not
Yeah.
just from one perspective, but really kind of being integrative and thinking at both the biological and the social aspects of it. Because,
Hmm.
so much of what makes Long Island a special place is the history and the culture of the people, as well as the natural beauty that's there and the opportunities to have sustainable climate friendly industries like aquaculture. And I think if I was doing this by myself, I wouldn't be able to really bring in that social element. And I think by forming a team, we're be able to get a much more integrative look at it that really looks at not only the what makes that a special place, but how that special place interacts with the people who are fortunate enough to live out there. So that device I'm holding in that photo is what we call a remotely operated vehicle, or ROV. And basically what it is, it's a little GoPro that we have on a submarine. And that submarine can go, in all sort of 3 dimensions, and we can drive it around using a remote control from the surface, and it can go it can go fairly deep. And what we want to do is take it and show people really what is happening at these oyster aquaculture facilities, right? Because one of the problems with being terrestrial organisms, right, is we don't have a good idea sort of intuitively of what's happening beneath the surface. And so when people see aquaculture cages, they'll just sort of see this stuff floating at the top, and it kind of looks like metal debris. Sort of, you don't really understand sort of the vibrancy of it. And one of the big goals we have in this project is to get different stakeholders in Long Island who are interested in oysters to be able to kind of see each other's perspectives, to kind of reduce conflict and think about what are some of our shared goals. And I think it's hard to do that if you can't see what we were talking about. And so one of the things we want to do is use this ROV to take videos to kind of show the cool sort of the biodiversity that happens on these cages, the fish that use them for shelter, and talk about some of the ecosystem services that can be provided by these oyster aquaculture facilities, to kind of get people to think a little bit to get people to think a little bit across perspectives.